The desert air was sharp, carrying the smell of gunpowder and fear. Captain Ethan Cole stood at the edge of an abandoned village, his rifle steady, his eyes colder than the night sky. He wasn't fighting for medals anymore. He was fighting for something, or someone, he'd already lost. Over the radio, a soft voice came through. Greater than, Shadow Team, move to Extraction Point Bravo. It was Dr. Lila Moore, a war zone medic, and the only person who ever made Ethan believe there could be peace inside the chaos. Ethan replied, his voice low and calm. Greater than, copy that, Angel. He never called her by her name during missions, only Angel. Because in war, hope needed wings. The night exploded. Bullets traced light through the darkness. Ethan's team, codename Shadow Unit, moved like ghosts through ruined streets, securing civilians and fighting unseen enemies. Lila's medical tent was hit. Without hesitation, Ethan ran back, against orders, pulling her out from under collapsing debris. She was shaking, covered in dust and blood. Greater than, you shouldn't have come back for me, she whispered. Then stop giving me reasons to, he said with a faint smile. They hid in an old stone shelter, breathless. Between the sounds of distant gunfire, the silence between them was louder than the war. Greater than, why do you do it, Ethan? She asked. Because if I don't fight, I'll start feeling again, he said. And that's more dangerous than any enemy. Days turned into missions, missions into survival. Every time Ethan returned from battle, Lila stitched his wounds, both the visible and the invisible ones. One night, under a shattered roof where stars barely shone through, he finally said what had been hiding in his silence. Greater than, you make me forget the war, even when I'm standing in it. Lila looked at him, tears glistening in her eyes. Greater than, and you make me believe peace still exists. They never promised forever. In war, forever was a dangerous word. But in that moment, with the world burning around them, they felt like the only two people still alive. Orders came from command. Shadow Unit must destroy a hidden base of the enemy's chemical weapons. A suicide mission. Only one way in, no guarantee out. Ethan volunteered first. Lila begged him not to. Greater than, you can't save the world if you lose yourself, she said. Then I'll save just enough to come back to you, he replied. Before the mission, he left a note in her medical bag. Greater than, if I don't return, know that you were the only light in my shadows. The next day, the explosion could be seen from miles away. The mission was a success. But Ethan never came back. Weeks passed. The war ended. Peace treaties were signed. Lila returned home, haunted by the silence of the desert. One morning, she received a box from military command. Inside, Ethan's dog tags, a burned camera chip, and a small folded paper. It was his note, the same one he left behind. On the back, in his handwriting, a final line she had never seen before. Greater than, if peace ever finds you, let it look like me. Tears fell silently as she clutched the tags. The world moved on. Lila opened a medical center in his name, the Ethan Cole Foundation, dedicated to helping war orphans. Every year, she visited the desert base where he disappeared. One day, she saw a local boy holding a worn-out photograph, Ethan's photo. Greater than, he saved my village, the boy said. He was a hero. Lila smiled softly, whispering. Greater than, he still is. As the sun set behind the dunes, she placed a white rose in the sand. The wind carried her words across the quiet battlefield. Greater than, you were my war, and my peace. Greater than, some wars never end. They just move from the battlefield to the heart. Love may not survive every fight, but sometimes, it's the only thing worth fighting for.